I ran over my boss's Ferrari with the company Forklift On Accident. So there I was, working as a forklift driver for a large distribution company. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but it paid the bills, and I had some pretty great coworkers. Well, all except for one person, the CEO, Ted. Now, I'm generally a pretty easygoing guy, but let me tell you, Ted was a professional jerk. He treated me like absolute garbage every single day. He'd make snide remarks, call me names, and generally just make my life miserable. The worst part, he was nice to everyone else. I never could figure out why he had it out for me specifically. I tried to stay positive and not let Ted's crap get to me. I'd smile, nod, and do my best to be the bigger person. But there's only so much a person can take. Well, one day, things really came to a head. There was a mix-up with one of the shipments in the warehouse, and somehow I got blamed for it. The thing is, I wasn't even responsible for that part of the process, but Ted absolutely lost it on me. He stormed over, red-faced and fuming, and just started laying into me. He called me every name in the book, said I was an idiot, and told me that if I screwed up one more time, I'd be out on my ass. The humiliation was unbearable. I was so angry and upset, but I couldn't do anything about it. He wouldn't listen to me, and no one nearby knew enough about what had happened to even try to defend me. That's when the wheels started turning in my head. I knew I was going to get blamed for the next mistake, whether I made it or not. I was literally going to lose my job because of this jerk. I was really in a spot, so I just kind of broke inside, and that is when I decided to take matters into my own hands. Ted was notorious for driving his precious Ferrari to work every day. He'd park it right up front, as if to say, look at me, I'm rich and powerful, and you're not. It was the ultimate symbol of his ego and arrogance. Well, today for some reason, Ted didn't park up front in his usual reserved spot. He actually parked it out back. Come to find out, he was showing it off to one of the new, attractive girls that worked in the back with us. Gee, I wonder what his aim was there. It was also right there close to one of the bay doors that we drove in and out of frequently. I couldn't understand why he would park there. It was dangerous and just too close to all of the loading traffic. So there was my chance. I grabbed my next load and barreled around the corner and slammed right into his stupid Ferrari. It made a super loud crunching sound, and everyone stopped what they were doing in one single beautiful instant. Ted's face was a sight to behold. His jaw dropped, and his face turned a shade of red I didn't think was humanly possible. I hopped off the forklift, still playing the part, and said, well, I guess I just really am stupid. I just stood there scratching my head, acting like I couldn't even understand what had happened because I am so dumb. Everyone in the warehouse stopped what they were doing and stared. I could feel their collective shock and disbelief, but I didn't care. I knew I had just taken control of the situation in the most epic way possible. Of course, Ted was beyond furious. He screamed and ranted, and I just stood there, soaking it all in, and taking notice that everyone in the company within hearing distance was witnessing his explosive rant. In the end, the company insurance policy had to cover the damage to Ted's precious Ferrari. So not only did I get to stick it to him in the most satisfying way possible, but I also didn't have to worry about paying for it. And since he was parked in an area that he wasn't supposed to be in, I was in no sort of trouble whatsoever. Technically, he knew better. But I wasn't done yet. I knew I was going to get fired, and I also knew I couldn't keep working there even if I hadn't, not after what I'd done. So I lawyered up and sued the company for harassment, citing all the name-calling and other abusive behavior Ted had subjected me to. It was a long, drawn-out process, but in the end, I won $100,000 in damages. And let me tell you, it felt incredible. Not only had I stood up to the biggest bully I'd ever encountered, but I also walked away with a pretty sweet chunk of change. But the best part, I landed an even better job shortly after. It was at a different company where I was treated with respect and appreciation like I actually mattered. My new boss was kind and supportive, and my coworkers were fantastic. It was a night and day difference compared to my old job, and I couldn't have been happier. And as for Ted, I heard through the grapevine that he's still driving a rental car while his precious Ferrari gets repaired. I like to think he's learned his lesson, but who am I kidding? Guys like him never change. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because I'm not his punching bag anymore, and I never will be again. And that, my friends, is the story of how I ran over my boss's Ferrari with a forklift on accident and came out on top. So if you ever find yourself stuck in a job where you're being treated like dirt, just remember, sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. Whether it's driving a forklift through a car, standing up to your boss, or finding a new job where you're appreciated, don't let anyone hold you down. After all, life's too short to be someone's doormat. Stand up for yourself, and don't be afraid to make a change, even if it's a big one. Trust me, it's worth it. I really wish he had posted a pic with this one. So what do you think? Did he go too far, or did Ted get what was coming to him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.